Cur8 Capital EIS Venture Capital Fund. This is a fund made by the guys at IFG when they open up the company Cur8 Capital, and it invests in startup, early stage companies. Here it is, the Cur8 Capital invest in world-class startups. 20% plus per year, that's what we want to see. It does have a minimum investment between 1.5K and 5K. Liquidity means how long it's going to take you to take out your money. 7 to 10 years, your money is locked up. Well, the nice thing is I've already invested into this fund, so let's log on to it and see how it's doing so far. Here it is, the Cur8 EIS fund. Nice. £10,000 invested. Interesting. And you can see down here all the companies that it's invested their money into. This one was put in a company called the Verge. £21.14. So of the £10,000 I've given them, they put £21 in this company. I mean, even if that grows, 500%, it's going to grow to £100. What's the point? What's the point in that? Anyway, they put some money in Think Solar, and the money they invested in this is on the 15th of January, and the last investment was 24th of December. So there was about, 20 days difference there? But I guess it was over the holiday period. The one before that, the 20th of December, £216 into Sahel AI. And then this before that, there was almost 2 months difference. This one was in a company called Remo, £439.88. What is Remo? Remo, Cur8 Capital. Can't even find Remo on the internet, so I have no idea what that investment is. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Let's see. Adia Thermal. On the 27th of August, some money was invested into Adia Thermal. Hopefully this one's easier to find. Nice. Adia Thermal, smarter home heating for plug-and-play pump installations. With Adia Thermal, it's Adia's technology that enables heat pump installations. Nice. So a heat pump installation company? Smarter home heating. I've got no idea if this company is doing well or not well, but that was done on the 27th of August and was a £500 investment. So you can see they've done a few investments with the money. Let's look at the documents that actually show how it's invested. The last one I got was on the 8th of October. Here we go. So £10,000 invested, £850 in fees paid, which is 8.5% of my investment. And that's because they take 3 years worth of fees up front, is what it is. And by this report, which was sent to me in October, about exactly £3,647.67 was invested, and there was still £5,500 left to be invested. I'm not a member, which is why my fees are higher, but to be a member, it costs a lot of money anyway. So for me, it wasn't worth it, but maybe it's worth it for you. And it shows you all the different rounds of investing that they did. So obviously I wasn't involved in the 2022 round because I wasn't invested then. Or that one. But this one, I was. And it shows you the different companies you've invested into and how much. Euphonic. Built AI. Nice. An AI company. Nice. Looks like I'm going to be rich. Now, what is my investment actually worth now is what some people might want to know. So I put in £10,000, and that was back in June 24. But all it says is current value is 10K. It doesn't even say that it took away £850 in fees. So actually, the value is £9,150. And a lot of the money isn't even invested yet, just sitting there doing nothing. And obviously, I can't withdraw the money for another 7 years plus. There's not much to say about it. It is a venture capital fund that invests in early stage companies. It is Sharia compliant. It lets you invest small sums of money and splits it over many companies, which is nice. The fees are high. The lack of liquidity is annoying, but it is an option. And I always try and say this in all the stuff that we produce. Just because the returns are stated as 20% plus per year, it does not mean that will actually materialize. All the money in this fund could go to zero if all the companies that are invested in go to zero. Could be the case. And as for the current valuation, it doesn't actually tell me what the current value of all the investments are, but it's very difficult to know with venture capital. How would you know what the company is worth now? These are private, non-listed, small companies. Unless those companies have a revaluation by someone investing more money into them, Cur8 Capital is not going to know what they're worth. Also, I had the thought that because of the fees on the fund, they're never going to invest all my money because they need to take their 2% annual fee. Let's look at the key information document for this fund, the Impact EIS fund. Let's just look at the interesting part. Interesting part is the risks. Out of 7, they put it as a 6. All right, cool. So there is even a higher level of risk than this fund. And they even have some scenarios here for a single investment of £10,000 and what might happen in each scenario. Can I zoom in? Yes, I can zoom in. So in an unfavorable scenario, your money starts off at 100k. In 8 years' time, it grows to 200k. But after the costs, I guess their fees, it's worth 176k. That's an unfavorable scenario. I'll take that. I'll take the unfavorable scenario. Let's see the moderate scenario, which I guess is what expected. This shows it after 1 year. So after 1 year, my 100k investment grows to 110k. Nice. And then after 9 years, after 8 years, it grows to 500,000. Nice. But they take fees over 80k. But then I'm getting returns of 40% per year in a moderate scenario. Now remember, this is just what they say. Who knows if it's going to happen? Now the favorable scenario, your 100k has grown to 800k. There's a 70% return each year. That is a great scenario. But obviously after they take their fees again, you're left with 656k. So they've taken 150k in fees. Oh, I mean, the fees are high. But if someone was telling me, look, here's an investment that can make 69% per year, would I pay those fees? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. But who knows if it's actually going to return that. Here are the fees. So the entry fee is 2% and the annual management fee is 2% for a fixed period of 5 years. The annual management fee for years 1 to 3 are taken up front. All right. So year 1 is 2%, year 1 is 2%, year 2 is 2%, year 3 is 2%. So that's 6% plus a 2.5% entry fee, which comes to 8.5%, which is why my investment went down by £850 on day 1 because they took 8.5% in fees. Oh dear. And there's also a performance fee, which is 20%, which is taken out from your returns. This is taken from returns net cost. So many fees. Oh, how can I complain? Oh, this is how I can complain. The fees are too high. The fees are too high, bro. It's funny because they sent an email round not too long ago, and they were saying in the email that perhaps now is the time to start investing in venture capital, and they gave lots of reasons for it. Fair. I mean, it is what they do as their business, so you can understand they may have a slight bias towards venture capital, but venture capital really isn't suitable for the vast majority of people due to the risks involved and the lockup period. Time will tell. Time will tell if it pays off as an investment, and it's nice that someone's doing it. It's nice that there is a Sharia compliant venture capital fund out there for people who it is suitable for to invest into. Maybe we could do with some competition in the scene though to try and push down those fees. But I guess finding the companies to invest into and doing all the due diligence and setting up the deal and the documents, I guess that costs money. So it's never going to have low fees on it. Oh, and one other nice thing about an EIS fund is that there are quite a few tax advantages of investing into it. I'm not going to go through them now, but if you do invest in an EIS or SEIS investment or a fund, Google the tax advantages of it because you can save on all sorts of tax. So even if I do lose on this investment, technically I think I should be able to recover some money back from the tax man. So not all is lost. Oh, I hope that was an interesting quick overview of the Cur8 Capital Venture Capital Fund. Let me know if you have any questions about it or if you want me to look at anything else. Salam.